didn't say. This audio is always in there. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
We were just saying.
We're just discussing whether when you play it back on, whether we're back to front or regular.
Well, do we need to write out what it says? I was just checking the stream before we say hello to everyone. It says waiting, so it's still not live. Perhaps no one's watching. Well, perhaps no one can see us yet.
Good evening, good evening, good
evening.
Yeah,
good evening. Let's take a sip of our drinks. Just wait a couple more seconds.
We are drinking peppermint tea this evening because I think it's safe to say we've had a lot of chocolate.
There we go. We are working away.
Right.
Yep.
You do that. You put me off every single time.
Well, keep going.
A lot of chocolate. It's been Easter.
I think, the quantity of chocolate consumed, I don't think you can actually get across how much I've consumed.
When you say, Alan's consumed, and that's not just Alan's chocolate, that's the kids' chocolate that he's been eating on the side.
Well, I haven't. I had like 1 or 2 tiny eggs. So the chocolate, the kids, bear in mind, our children are 5, 3 and 1, right? Just bear that in mind. They've had an obscene amount of chocolate.
Obscene.
You know, and it's like, yeah, fine. I don't mind them getting chocolate. I'm certainly not going to be one of those people who's like, no, I don't want them having that. Like The Rock. The Rock was saying his kids had their Easter egg hunt for toys because they didn't want them turning into sweetie crack hose or something was his phrase. No, quite happy for them to eat chocolate, but obscene amount. And bearing in mind how much I'm kind of telling you I've consumed, we've still got a worktop full of chocolate. And I found 2 bunnies in the fridge.
I saw them.
Yeah, I ate half of one of them. Just like walking into the fridge to put something away, I ate half a bunny. That's
you did that. You walked to the loo the other day. And you said you ate an entire Malteser's egg.
No, it was a Rolo egg. Get facts. It was different. So on the way to the loo, through the kitchen, I saw the Rolo egg, which had Rolos in it and a Rolo egg. I picked it up. I cracked it open. I threw the Rolos in my mouth. I ate on the way to. Yeah, I know. That's why I did it. And on the way back from the loo, I picked the rest of the egg up and shoved the rest in my mouth, walking back out into the garden.
Do they still even make Rolos as like packets of Rolos?
Let us know, team. Does everyone? I think Rolos are mainstream still. I'm pretty confident.
Like Tutti Fruttis were my favourites, and they've just disappeared.
No, they're only your favourite because Chris Evans was talking about them.
I like them.
I've never seen you consume Tutti Fruttis in 12 years.
I've never had a Tutti Frutti.
Anyway, let's get back on track.
Never had a Tutti Frutti.
In 12 years, I've known you. Right, fact. Right, so welcome to the Outside Bride Ask an Expert number 63. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Hello, YouTubers and hello, podcasters. YouTubers, please do subscribe to our channel and give us a little thumbs up. It just lets us know that you're watching it and you like what we do. We get quite nice feedback from people. So it's quite nice for YouTube to see that feedback through the medium of a thumbs up and a subscription to our channel. Podcasters, we've had some crazy stats on podcasts in the past week or 2.
Apparently, podcasts.
Apparently, the podcast is going all right. So I hope you're enjoying it, podcasters. Please do give us a heart. I think that's what we call it, or a love on SoundCloud, and review and stars on iTunes if that's where you listen. Pretty please and thank you.
Thank you. How's your week been?
How's the week? Well, I've spent it in like sugar highs and sugar lows pretty much for the past 3 days. How's your week? See, I was really gung-ho into outdoor weddings, and you threw me off with how was your week?
It's a really simple way to get into weddings then, darling. We went to a wedding.
Oh, yeah. We went to a wedding over Easter Saturday. It was part 2. Well, I know, and we talked about it last Wednesday.
It was part 2.
I'm still getting over the chocolate.
2-part wedding, and it was our good friends Claire and Nick. They got wed. And
hello, Claire and Nick.
We went to their they had it wasn't actually a wedding, it was a party side. They didn't have any.
It was a reception.
They didn't have any formalities, we didn't have any speeches, we didn't have any cake cutting. Those were first dance, but it was just a gathering of all the people who didn't go to the actual wedding the week before, and it was a jolly good news that printer's going to go.
Yeah, the printer just started up. Sorry if you can hear that.
And actually, I'm gonna we did have a list of things we're going to talk about today, but thinking about that wedding has made me think of another thing I want to talk about today in today's session as well. And it's another thing about weather. And we talk all about wet weather plans and snow plans and thunder and lightning plans. And we have touched upon this before, but the importance of having a hot weather plan. Do you agree?
Well, yeah, I think it is certainly got to be taken into consideration.
Now, by no means was the wedding on Saturday the hottest we've ever been to, and we can.
Well, no, but it was like it was the hottest day of this year so far.
And it wasn't an outdoor wedding; it was a village hall in the New Forest. It was very lovely, but it was safe to say that none of us were really prepared for how warm it was on Saturday, was it?
No. Well, as I was telling everyone at the wedding on Saturday, I actually like to think I'm James Bond at weddings. And what you don't see in any of the James Bond films is James Bond complaining about how hot it is as he's running around in his fabric suit. And he never takes his jacket. Well, he does, but he doesn't, you know. So that's me, as I was wearing my blazer and like flannel trousers. Were they flannel? What are my grey trousers? What fabric?
Well, they were like a flannel.
Like a woolen flannel.
A wool mix. Not necessarily
wool mix. I was not complaining about the weather. However, Emily here, in her halter neck, you weren't enjoying it, were you?
I was a non-bridesmaid bridesmaid. She had maids of dishonour rather than having bridesmaids. She had bride tribe, whatever you want to call it.
It worked quite well, I thought. And
we all had to wear our dresses in a particular colour scheme, which was lovely. And I, because I've been trying to lose a little bit of weight, bought 2 sizes of my dress. I bought one size that I was hoping to fit in, and then I had the biggest size, which was too big for the wedding. Yes, everyone goes yes. But I opted for the smaller size, but I really wish I'd opted for the bigger size for a halfway change, because it was stiflingly hot. It was a very fitted top bit with a floaty skirt, and it really, really was a hot day. And I did struggle a little bit because I was part of the wedding and I was getting involved with things and I was running around and I was helping putting cakes out and stuff. It did get quite hot. So I think a lesson to be learned, not necessarily for Claire and Nick's wedding because it was lovely, but for any weddings that are in the peak of summer, if you are going to have a summer like we had last year in the UK, which was hot. It was hot, wasn't it?
No,
it was hot.
Yeah, but we've had this conversation. It was so hot, I feel, as a nation, we acclimatised to hot weather.
But you always have to remember, weddings are marathons, not sprints. You could be there out in the boiling heat from potentially midday if you're having an earlier ceremony, right through to the evening. So making sure that you put provisions out to account for the heat. So shaded areas, if you're having an outdoor wedding, make sure you can put some parasols or gazebos up, or if they've got a marquee or a teepee, that's great. Make sure they've got covered areas.
Say if you've got a marquee or a teepee or a structure, then you want to make sure there's ventilation. Otherwise, you've essentially got a animals in cars situation.
If you're having an outdoor ceremony and you're insisting on having your guests sitting there for periods of time, especially if, now traditionally the bride or groom might be late, so making sure that there's things like a water station to the side, and maybe some courtesy little fans are always quite nice. I looked at a wedding we did on the blog this week, and they had little paper fans that said "Welcome to our wedding." Making sure that water station or soft drink station is available for the entire day, because people will have an alcoholic drink, and sometimes they'll chase out another alcoholic drink and then another one, and then actually find like 4 or 5 down the line they haven't actually had any water, consumed any water, and they're wondering why they're getting a bit sunstrokey. That's usually me. Yes, I agree. That's usually me. Could have been on Easter Monday. Easter Sunday I was a little bit worse for wear as well, because it was hot in the garden, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mrs. I don't drink any water, but we won't go into that.
Putting things like sprays and extra like cans of deodorant and Mozzie spray and sun creams and all that. If you have any toilet, you're doing temporary toilets and you have some baskets, putting some courtesy bits and pieces like that into your baskets, it will always be a win, because someone might have forgotten to put sun cream on the hottest day of the year so far, and if you can just leave it there, that saves some getting.
And also, I mean, it sounds funny, but you know, it sounds funny. Do you know what? I said that and I had no idea. I wasn't even going to say anything that could sound funny. It was just going to be about your pictures and about looking after the guests at your wedding. You know, you're absolutely spot on. And you know, we've said this time and time again, the weather forecast is becoming better in this country. Like Easter just gone, there was 2 weeks of forecast saying Easter was going to be warm. Okay, 2 weeks out, we're all doubting it. A week out, it's still saying it. We're going, okay, it could be right. A few days before, imagining it's your wedding, plenty of time to get some hot weather supplies in, more water, whatever else. Umbrellas,
yeah.
You know, bit of shade. You know, there are many nations who use umbrellas for rain as well as sunshade. So it's a nice way to adopt other cultures. I don't know why I said that. I do know why I said that. It was a conversation we were having earlier on about international weddings.
Anyhow, that was my little sideline from the wedding. My takeaway from the wedding, just spurred on the fact that it was hot, and it's only April, and it's hot.
I loved it.
It's only going to get hotter as the summer.
Best thing about sunny weather. Best thing. Anyone want to guess what the best thing about sunny
Sunglasses.
weather? Sunglasses. I love. Yeah, but I'm unpredictable because I'm your husband. Not our millions of listeners and viewers. Billions who listen to Ask an Expert around the world, they may not have known the answer was sunglasses.
Hashtag living the dream.
Yeah, in reverse.
Oh, I just felt my truth and did that. That's karma.
Karma.
Oh man.
Karma.
Where's my front teeth?
Yes. Anyway, we were going to have to sort out the camera again. Now it's reversing everything.
Other things that we were going to talk about this evening.
Well, so what I put out on the link in the past hour, we were going to talk about exit strategy.
Oh yes.
That's not running away from your partner to be. That is all about take down the next day. So one of the oft missed areas of an outdoor wedding is the fact that unfortunately you're probably going to have to tidy up on the day after.
Or the day.
Or the day.
Depending on how you were leaving your venue.
Well, I was thinking from a perspective of an empty field and you've brought everything in, but you're right. If it's a venue, pardon me, you may have to take down on the actual night. Like we did the wedding we were at on Saturday. Part of it was we had to tidy up before we left, which was fine. It works in these situations, but yeah. So anyway, exit strategy. Go, Emmy Lee.
You were going to say Emmy Lou.
No,
you were. Okay.
Keep on track.
So things about your exit strategy. We'll talk about this lots in the planning sessions as well, and the whole module on it actually. But some of the things you might want to consider. If you're going to a blank canvas venue that you've not visited before, it might be a little bit further away from home. It might be a destination wedding. Everything we talk about on the setup, and you're going to have to bring in for the setup and extra equipment that you're going to need for the setup, and equipment to tie things, and equipment to put things in the air and suspend things and all that kind of stuff. You're going to need a lot of that equipment on the takedown, and it's really important that you have that in place. Things like cleaning boxes, making sure that you have bin bags if you're going to be separating out your recyclables and your non-recyclables, making sure you have various bin bags for that, making sure you have sprays and cloths and incidental stuff in a box, put in a really useful box or whatever, and just keep that in the van ready for the takedown. Because one of the common things people lose out on at the end is that they don't read the terms and conditions of the way things need to be returned back to their suppliers at the end of it.
Very true.
For example, a marquee company, they may say, we'll take it as we find it, we'll clear it down, that's not a problem. They might say there must be not a single morsel of dirt or hay bale, straw bales on
That's
the carpet.
That's a biggie. Hay bales, but the venue may not want that on the grass.
No, venues can be very strict about that with the wind carrying across, and we have several venues who flatly say no to hay bales at all. So double check this with your venue for that. We had one company, actually I managed a wedding last year, and they had the bale. I've said this before. They had the bales inside the marquee for a barn dance, but then the next day, every last morsel of hay needed to be picked up off the floor, but it was a carpet. It was great.
Oh, no.
So we had to literally pick up all of the, so we had a hoover. We did actually have a handheld hoover on site, which was really helpful. You may not have power at that time. You may just double check what you need to take. Things like bars, a glass hire. Do you need to have it washed and given back to the company? Do they take it back dirty? Things like your tables, table dinners, all that kind of stuff. How do they want that condition of stuff to come back to them? And double check on your terms and conditions, because you do not want to get stung for a cleaning fee, and you don't want to get stung for because you've got it confused with how you thought it should come back. And that's the worst thing you want to do the next day after a wedding, when you've had an amazing day, coming right back down to reality with a big thud because you've not washed your glassware properly.
No, absolutely. I mean, you touched on this, and I know our wedding. So, long story short, Emily and I had an outdoor wedding. We had no idea.
Did we have an outdoor wedding?
Yeah, we did. And we had no idea what we were doing. And if I'm honest, the bit that kind of caught me unawares most was how much litter and glass, because we did a free bar, so the glass was our responsibility. So how much, and my poor ushers, thank you guys, were there with a van taking them all down to the local recycling place, which what they really wanted to do was like go home, you know. So and we just hadn't quite factored that in, and you know, it's such a big one. For everything you take to site and is your responsibility, you then have to take away again. And we've said this before about generators, and especially generators is the one we actually use, is yes, it's going to cost you sometimes a lot more, but sometimes not a lot more. But the more you can put bits on other people to be responsible. Why did I word that in a really bizarre way? Basically, if rather than hiring your generator separately, if you put that on like the marquee company, for argument's sake, then that's just less for you to have to do. And you know, it might be that you want to do a free bar, but there are bar companies who will do free bars, and
subject to minimum spend.
Yes, subject to minimum spend, or what you're buying. Yeah. So once again, it's like you're still doing a free bar, but the responsibility is on someone else. It's on that bar company, and you know, I we've said this before. Our free bar, with us buying way too much booze, we spent 1,500 quid on it, and we spent about 7-8 months after our wedding drinking more. We bought 1,000 bottles of lager and took 400 home. It was that sort.
Did you ever think that was a good idea?
I had a spreadsheet. We've tweaked the spreadsheet now. It's now it's a lot.
Very early on in the days.
Yes, but yeah, no, but that's what I mean. There's just ways around it about removing that responsibility from yourself for your exit strategy.
But also, consider the fact that your setup day is a really long period of time. Your takedown day might be an equally long amount of time by the time you've moved things around. So, when we've talked about this in the past, and we talked about this again on our course. Thinking about when things get collected, how they get collected, in which order they get collected. Things like your generator or your toilets might, although they want to be collected quite soon, keep them for a little bit longer, because if you've got lots of bodies on site, you know, they're helping with the clear down, and they're staying on site to help move boxes and vans and going to the recycling centre. They may benefit well from having a toilet to use on the day, and they may benefit from having the ability to switch on a kettle. But always pack a kettle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's ridiculous, and how much it makes a difference to your helpers who are doing it for the love. We hope they're doing it for the love.
And they're not doing it for their country. The red, white, and the blue.
You have used that reference too many times.
Grease 2, everyone. Grease 2.
Number one, no one should reference Grease 2. It was not a good film. Well,
no. Thumbs up if you like Grease 2, everyone. Send us emails, send us messages, tweet us.
It was my guilty pleasure for a long time.
If you like Grease 2, contact us in any way possible and just let us know that you also like. Dear Alan, you're right. I also like Grease 2. It's not one of
Michelle Pfeiffer's best moments, I have to say.
No, but she wasn't bad in it. It just wasn't a good vessel.
Anyway, we digress. But put a kettle in your van.
No Dangerous Minds, is it?
If you've got a power supply and you've got your generator there, it keeps your troopers happy and smiling, and they'll keep moving for you until the very end. If you're not going to feed and water them, then they might get a little bit grumpy. We don't want grumpy helpers because we love them. They're your family and friends.
No, they are. And I think it's really important. I'm a big believer in this, and we see a lot of the flip side of this in a lot of the wedding groups on Facebook. That actually it's your wedding day. That is amazing, right? It's absolutely amazing. It's your wedding day. But everyone else, they're coming along to help you.
Yeah.
And so that's what you got to remember. They're there to help you. Yes, they want to help you and all these other things, but then it's about being nice to them. Very quickly, back to Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds. The bit I always...
Is this relevant to weddings?
No, not even vaguely. I always found it bizarre that Michelle Pfeiffer was in Dangerous Minds. Coolio sang Gangster's Paradise, which was obviously the song for Dangerous Minds.
Yeah.
But I always found it bizarre that Michelle Pfeiffer was then in the video outside of footage of Dangerous Minds for Gangster's Paradise.
Profound.
No, not profound. I just found it weird. I would get it if footage of the film was in the video, which it was, but also she was then there with Coolio.
Stop.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry. Is that early 90s, Gangsters, Dangerous Minds? Anyway, right, weddings,
outdoors, taking down. So yes, we've talked about the condition. We've talked about making sure you get the right order of things going out, and also making sure that you keep your family and friends happy and sweet. But the other big tip that I'm going to give you is to make sure that if you have created stuff, if you have hired or bought stuff, if you've gone to every single wedding market under the sun and you've bought, I don't know, 300 China teacups, because that's what people do for things like
very much so.
If you've bought furniture, if you've bought table centres, if you've bought vases, if any of that, the best thing you can do before you pack it away is photograph it in situ at your wedding, or phone, and take all the photos you can of it looking at its prettiest, and then pack it away, label your box, make sure it's secure, wrap it away, and then when you
count it in,
count it out. When you get home, you won't have to get every box out again to take it out for a month down the line when you've had your lovely honeymoon, all that kind of stuff. A month down the line, you're like, oh, I must start selling some of that rubbish I've got in my house because it's taken over. You already have your images there, and they're going to look the best they can be. For example, we had a bride come and buy from us a gin globe. She was doing She was doing.
I wonder how her wedding got on.
It's not yet. It's next month.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. She was having a very special. She had some Chesterfield sofas, and she had some wingbacks.
She had some lovely stuff.
And she had a gin globe on the side, and it was a very intimate kind of bar area. But all of that was going to be sold straight after. She bought it all on eBay and stuff like that, and she got some bargains. And actually, taking a picture of that whilst it's being used is a much better selling point than afterwards when it's just in your house or in your garage and you're snapping the with no space to kind of get a decent photo of it. So that's a top tip from me. Take your photos on the day of the wedding or afterwards.
Tip. We didn't do it. Top tip.
And that's that for a little bit about taking down your wedding.
Right. So I think we will wrap up with a quick outro, unless you've got.
I was going to quickly mention for our suppliers.
Oh yes. Hello, we know suppliers.
We know a lot of suppliers are watching this, and
out of the billions and billions who watch, I think about 38% are suppliers.
Very specific, Braithwaite.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we know a lot of suppliers watch us, with it for inspiration for your own brides and grooms, or the fact you're just placating us, doesn't really matter. The fact that we are here to help you guys as well as help our brides and grooms. We just wanted to flag that if you haven't already visited the site, what are you doing right now?
I'm writing hi suppliers.
Hi suppliers. If you haven't already visited the site, we have updated our new supplier pages. They're all shiny and new and looking spangly, aren't they?
They are, we did.
And on there, not only do we have all of the information about how
link in the description.
Yeah, lovely. All of the information about how to submit to the blog, all the information about our supply support in terms of we have some Facebook groups dedicated to outdoor wedding suppliers. We have some information about how to advertise with us if that's something you're interested in. But
our newest section, drum roll,
is our consult and support package.
Yes.
So if you are a new business,
No, I was just.
If you are a new business to the outdoor wedding industry,
I had an itch.
or whether you are an existing business who just wants a bit of some eyes on your business to see what you're doing, how you're doing things, to look at how we can make sure your brand is working for you, but also make sure that your brides and grooms are having the best possible outdoor wedding experience they can have, we have organised and sorted out our consult and support package. Feel free to visit the website, link as it is down below, and you can find out all about what we're offering and how we can help you, as well as if you visit up in the top of the corner of our website is the About Us, and you can see who we are, unless you don't know us by now,
who we are, where we come from, and
what we've done, and how we want to help you, because you're as important to us as our brides and grooms.
Well, it is, isn't it? You know, we label ourselves as outdoor wedding specialists, and we've got the credentials to back that up. But it's as much about helping, as you say, the couples getting married, as it is about helping suppliers who are new to the industry, or suppliers who are on a plateau and looking to continue in an upward trajectory. And we can come in and we bring our wealth of knowledge and our experience and our support mechanisms, and we want to bring in and help you.
Ultimately, that helps everybody by having really good, really amazing suppliers on board, working on these amazing outdoor weddings. Our amazing brides and grooms have the most amazing days.
Fact. Right. On that note, I think we will. We are off to the Dorset Wedding Festival on Sunday.
Oh, we are? Yes.
Yep. So we will put a few pics up from that. We like a good outdoor wedding festival. It's also London Marathon on Sunday. So good luck to anyone running London Marathon.
Good luck to our friend Kirsty.
Yes. And Gary's doing it as well. Did you know?
Gary Eilert. Yes.
Gary Eilert.
Yeah.
Eilert. Gary, whatever your name
Gary,
is.
well done.
Well done.
In advance.
And I think I've got a feeling I've got another friend doing it, but normally there's a few. And having done the London Marathon, it's hard work, so good luck to everyone.
It's a marathon.
Well, the only thing I was quite nervous about was that the weather was going to be super hot back from last weekend, but it looks like it's going to be a bit cooler, which is good. And actually, rain's not a bad thing. As long as it's not torrential. Right. Emily's tickling my leg, which I think she means
I was being affectionate.
Oh, I thought it was a stop waffling.
Sorry,
We've got this signal, but if we ever do anything under the camera, it means stop.
Oh no, I was genuinely just being affectionate.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you for the affection. Podcasters would have had no idea. Right, as always, podcasters, thank you for listening. We really, really mean that. We do all this genuinely because we love it. So we hope you enjoy listening to the important outdoor wedding stuff we talk
more
about.
exciting.
And mid-flow, the important outdoor wedding stuff we do, as well as the kind of the interaction between
and more exciting YouTubers. In a matter of weeks, this background will be gone and we'll be returning to our favourite.
Oh, yeah. You bravely putting that out there.
I am. I love it.
Okay, we were in the garden last summer and we're planning to be in the garden this summer, aren't we?
Outdoors while we can be, while the sun is shining.
No, that is true. And we do like that. So yeah, we're going to be moving outdoors as soon as the light is long enough and warm enough. What I was going to say, standard stuff. Please leave a review. Please give us 5 stars, or at least 4 or 4.5 minimum. And subscribe and thumbs up. We really would want to make. We've got not only are we going to be moving outside. Well, no, this important stuff. We've got a plethora. First time tonight, a plethora of videos planned for both our channels, actually, the Outside Bride and Bay Lily Bell Tents. So
go and drink peppermint tea, both.
Finished that ages ago. Might have some more chocolate. Right. Thank you very much and good night.
Good night.
Bye.